Okay, so NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 was, well, technically it did go longer than the designated time, like 10 minutes longer. See, what threw me off is that they started it at 6 o'clock when they usually start these things at 7, so I thought that meant it was going to go longer, and it really didn't. It just went about 10 minutes longer than usual. Or, well, 10 minutes longer. They've been doing that the last few, so, yeah, I guess I'm kind of an idiot, but, well, better safe than sorry in these cases. So, anyway, got to catch up a little bit on what's been going on. Now, I admittedly have not been watching much NXT recently. Unfortunately, I've just been really busy on Wednesdays, and sometimes I just, like, I don't feel like watching the on-demand broadcast on WWE Network. I just kind of want to get things. I've been tired, you know, with somehow how long some of the random trade reviews have been. It's just like, you know, I'm really tired on this Wednesday. It's like I've been working. I just kind of want to relax a little bit, and yeah, because just some of the NXT stuff has escaped me. I have been able to keep up with a bit of it though. Obviously, first things first is that Tommaso Ciampa defeated Aleister Black to win the NXT Championship. I want to say about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit more. And that got the taping results got spoiled for me, but basically what happened was they were in a match. Gargano interfered, tried to take the belt from Ciampa tried to hit Black with the belt. Gargano took it away, but in the process inadvertently struck Black, and that enabled Ciampa to get the pinfall and the victory to become the new NXT champion. This was going to set up a triple threat match at Brooklyn TakeOver 4, but then Aleister Black got injured. Storyline-wise, he was jumped in the parking lot, but in reality, I believe he suffered a minor sports hernia, which if you don't know, that's where you tear the tendon that connects your groin muscle to your pelvis, and that's put him on the shelf. So they had to change this to a last man standing match between Gargano and Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Also, if you recall, during the UK tournament, Mustache Mountain defeated the Undisputed Era for the Tag Team Championships. Yeah, about a week or so later, Undisputed Era won it back when Tyler Bate was forced to throw in the towel for Trent Seven, who was in a, basically it was the Deathlock, Scorpion Deathlock, and could not get to the ropes. But starting things off, actually, is the Tag Team Championship match of the Undisputed Era versus Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly versus Mustache Mountain. Seven and Strong started things off and immediately went after their opponents' respective partners. Bate tagged in and hit a springboard senton on Seven. A sprungboard off of Seven did a senton onto O'Reilly. At that point, though, the Undisputed Era took over and isolated Trent Seven for a while. Seven dodged the clothesline and hit a TDT, which tagged in Tyler Bate. Kyle O'Reilly put Bate in a sleeper, but Bate tried to do the Cesaro swing and an airplane spin at the same time. He couldn't quite do it because O'Reilly put him into a sleeper. However, he was still able to put Strong in a German suplex. Undisputed Era hit a double team move on Bate for a 2 count. At that point, the Undisputed Era went after Bate's knee instead of Seven's. Seven got the hot tag and hits a suicide dive onto O'Reilly. Bate hit a short arm powerbomb onto O'Reilly as Strong had Seven in a Boston Crab. And Bate hit a Tiger Driver on Strong for a 2 count. O'Reilly did a cheap shot on Bate when he was on the top rope, and then he locked on a heel hook, but, jeez, what did I write here? Mustache Mountain came in and hit their flying knee drop onto, I believe it was Strong for a 2 count. At that point, they went for another double team move on O'Reilly, but Strong got in the ring, hit a flying knee strike on Bate. O'Reilly then chop blocked Seven, and they hit the total elimination for the 3 count at the victory. Undisputed Era retains. About the only surprising thing in this match was that Trent Seven did not turn on Tyler Bate, because it seemed like they were going that way. Again, don't know what they're doing with NXT UK. There was an advertisement for this saying that it was coming soon, but as to whether or not that's still going to be part of the ordinary NXT show or not, I don't know. So, don't know where exactly that's going to lead. Though it was not surprising that Undisputed Era retained the belts. They don't normally pogo those things around so much, and the fact they did is just so kind of out of the ordinary. It's obvious. It just reeks of, yeah, they just did that to get the cheap pop at Royal Albert Hall. Oh, I also forgot to mention after the tag team match, the War Raiders came out and beat up the Undisputed Era while they were celebrating. They hit O'Reilly with the 2 double team moves, not a springboard, a flapjack into a power slam, and then they hit basically a flying guillotine leg drop maneuver onto him, and that's how it ended. Anyway, moving on to our second match, EC3 versus the Velveteen Dream. EC3, Dream came out with a jacket on. He tossed it at EC3, EC3 threw it right back at him. Also, Dream's tights read, "Call me up, Vince." Hopefully that will happen soon, because Dream's pretty much ready to go at this point. EC3 kicked Dream so hard that Dream was draped over the top ropes. He kicked, and EC3 kicked him so hard that Dream actually wound up crouched on the top rope. Dream came back. They were fighting on the ramp, and he hit a swinging DDT on the ramp. Dream came and hit a flying chop off the second rope. Dream slammed EC3 off of the announce table and then splashed water in his face. EC3 hit a snapmare driver for a 2 count. EC3 hit back-to-back power bombs for a 2 count. Dream came in and hit the Dream Valley driver, got a 2 count. They began fighting. EC3 went for, what was it, the 1%er. But Dream found out of it. They got onto the ring apron. Dream hit the Dream Valley driver on the ring apron, and then hit the Purple Rainmaker off of the rope to the ring apron, and then rolled EC3 back into the ring and got the 3 count. Real surprise here, because they're trying to build up EC3, but it doesn't seem to be that way, given the fact that he's lost now. I mean, was he at the last TakeOver? I can't remember, but obviously he lost at the TakeOver New Orleans, and now he's lost again. So I don't know what exactly their plans are. They're probably doing the Andrade Almas a little bit, where he's going to have this little bit of an early losing streak until he turns full heel. Also, Matt Riddle popped up in the crowd, and they refer to him as their new signee, so I guess that's official. Okay, our next match is the NXT North American Championship match. Adam Cole, baby, versus Ricochet. Right off the bat, both men were trying some chain wrestling and fought out of some wrist locks and hammer locks. Cole, the whole time, was mocking Ricochet, saying he wasn't special. Cole dumped Ricochet over the top turnbuckle. Cole hit the Higurashi for a 2 count. Ricochet came back in a twisting suicide dive, and he followed that with a springboard European uppercut. Ricochet hit a Phoenix splash off the second rope for a 2 count. Cole came back and made Ricochet went for his handspring back elbow, but Cole took that and countered it into a backstabber for a 2 count. Ricochet went for a lion salt, but Cole countered that with a super kick, got a 2 count. Ricochet hit a jumping enziguri on Cole, leading to Adam Cole actually falling backwards onto Ricochet, getting a 2 count out of that. Ricochet countered a Shining Wizard into a reverse Hurricane Rana driver. They then tumbled kind of the outside of the ring. Ricochet hit a jumping head scissors off the ring apron, sending him to the outside. My stream kind of hiccuped at this point, so the match got... So I sort of missed that jumping Hurricane Rana, unfortunately. But I got back just in time to see Ricochet hit the 630 splash for the 3 count and get the victory to become the new North American champion. They kind of had to do this because Cole's had the belt since March. I think he's only defended it twice, not including this. So, yeah, maybe they need to get it onto a more of a fighter to have this be a bit more frequent. given that the Undisputed Era retain the tag belts, again, does this mean the cracks start to show? Don't know when Bobby Fish is coming back. Don't know exactly when Bobby Fish is coming back. So does that again lay in the idea we're starting to sow some dissension, where Cole's the leader, but he lost his championship, so now Strong maybe looks at him and says, maybe it's time I took over the reign, because it seems, I don't know exactly what the things have been between those two, but yeah, exactly. Like sometimes it looks like a cohesive unit. Could this be where the cracks start? The match itself, highly entertaining, real good. The danger with Ricochet is because he's such a high spots guy. Does he do too many? In this case, he managed to keep it in check long enough to have a really good, solid match. Okay, and now we have the NXT Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Sane really took the fight to Baszler early on, fought out of a waistlock, put Baszler in a heel hook. Sane hit a flying head scissors and followed that up with a big drop kick. Baszler came back at a big drop kick to Sane's knee and then stomped on her calf. In fact, at one point, Baszler took Sane's foot, kind of mounted it like this, and then stomped on the ankle, like right here, driving her toes into the ring mat. Baszler hit a dragon screw through the ropes. Baszler set Sane up in the corner and did the mock kind of pirate stomp away, and then kicked Sane in the inner thigh. Sane came back and hit two rolling neck breakers. Baszler came back and hit a gut wrench superplex, and then followed that up with a jumping knee where she jumped off the damaged knee of Kairi Sane. Sane hit a spear and then followed that up with the elbow drop off the second rope. She then hit an insane elbow for a 2 count. Sane tried to go for a submission hold, a cloverwood leaf called the anchor, but Baszler fought out of that and put on a rear naked choke, but Sane got to the ropes. Sane then used the ropes to aid her in putting on the anchor for the at least required 5 count before disqualification could be called for. Sane then hit an Alabama slam and went for another insane elbow, but Baszler got her boots up in time, then put on the rear naked choke. However, Sane managed to fight and roll through to get a pin in predicament for the 3 count and the victory. Basically, it's like the Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, WrestleMania 8 Intercontinental Championship match, except Sane did not use the ropes. She got just enough of a kick through on her jump to roll through into the pin for the 3 count. Baszler surprisingly took the defeat in stride. She's not like when she did it with when she lost to Ember Moon in a similar situation where the submission hold got put into a pinning predicament. But exactly, she didn't stomp on Moon or attack her afterwards. She just exactly. And Sane celebrated in the ring. A really, really good match. Probably not as good as the one at the Mae Young Classic they had last year, but definitely entertaining. Probably Baszler's best match in NXT so far. The prevailing rumor going around is WWE wants to do the 4 horsewomen of MMA versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE, i.e. Bayley, Sasha, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte, at the Survivor Series in an elimination match, but I don't know if that's going to happen necessarily, since again 2 of those women have to be go right through to the main roster, and I don't know if would Shayna get a permanent upgrade to the main roster, or would she just go down, and would she go up temporarily and then come back down to NXT? Would the other 2 come on to NXT? So I don't know how exactly that would turn out. And that leads us to the main event of the evening, the last man standing match for the NXT Championship, Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Gargano jumped Ciampa during the intro as they were announcing him as the NXT Champion. Gargano fought out of a Tiger Driver, and Ciampa tossed Gargano into the ring steps. Gargano managed to escape, at that point started to After getting a brief breakaway from Ciampa, took up the protective padding from around the ring and exposing the concrete. Gargano hit a rolling senton off of the ring apron onto Ciampa, and then tossed him over the ring table. Ciampa hit a white noise on the Spanish announce table. Ciampa hit a running knee strike to a prone Gargano. Gargano came back with a chair, hit Ciampa a few times, and mounted that chair up in the corner. Tried to lawn dart Ciampa into the chair, but Ciampa fought out of it and locked on a sleeper. Eventually, Gargano fought out of that and lawn darted Ciampa into the chair. At this point, Gargano stacked up 2 tables on the outside of the ring in the area of the concrete he had exposed. Ciampa came back and hit 3 lumbar checks. Gargano came, at that point, Ciampa took the chair, sat down and put it and used it to take a seat in the middle of the ring. Gargano barely beats the 10 count and hits Ciampa with a super kick. Ciampa countered a spear through the ropes with a knee strike. Gargano hit a German suplex, followed that with a roundhouse kick. Ciampa dodged a senton off the ring apron again. Ciampa hit the fairy tale ending on the ring steps. Ciampa tore up the ring padding, exposing the wood underneath the ring for once again. Gargano hit a jumping DDT through the ropes onto the exposed ring. They got to the outside of the ring. Gargano dodged, Ciampa dodged another senton. Gargano then went for a super kick, but inadvertently struck a ring attendant. Ciampa then hit a running knee strike through a chair, sending Gargano into the timekeeper's area. He then buried Gargano in equipment from the ring announce table and another chair and one of the cushier chairs that the announcers sit on, and the ring attendant. But Gargano fought out of that. Ciampa hit Gargano super kicked Ciampa off of the ring apron and through the announce table. The two then fought up to the top of the ramp again. At this point, Ciampa had also gotten the handcuffs out and tried to handcuff Gargano. Gargano fought out of it and handcuffed Ciampa, eventually handcuffing him to the speakers on the top of the ring ramp. Gargano then super kicked Ciampa 3 times. The problem was Ciampa would be out long enough to start the ref to start counting, but it wouldn't take too much for him to at least get his feet up to break the count. So Gargano realized he had to knock Ciampa out. He exposed his knee, went for a running knee strike. He hit it, but in the momentum, it carried himself off of the ramp and into this equipment table. And Ciampa and Gargano were both out, but in the process, Ciampa rolled off of the stage and managed to land on both feet, so he beat the 10 count and thus won the match and retained. Afterwards, they sold the idea that Gargano had dislocated his kneecap, though. I've seen dislocated kneecaps, and that didn't look dislocated to me. It just looked injured. Like maybe he bruised it really bad. I mean, it was a little swollen, but other than that, it was not dislocated. Ciampa celebrated, got his hand raised, left, but then as Gargano was getting yelped off by the ring doctors, Ciampa came out one more time. Gargano wanted to attack, but he couldn't, and that's basically how the show ended. Again, a spectacular match between these two. You honestly kind of thought Gargano was probably going to win. I mean, going into the match, it's like, okay, they're not going to take the belt off of Ciampa. They just put it on him. It doesn't make sense to take it off him that fast. But, one, they did Gargano entering first, and for every other title switch that happened, the challenger entered first. So you think, okay, maybe this could be different. Exactly. Everything that kept leading up makes you think, oh, Gargano's going to win. And then right when the top of the ramp bit happened, it's like, okay, so he's either going to completely knock Ciampa out and then barely beat him to his feet, or Ciampa's going to luck his way out of this, and obviously the latter happened. But again, it's probably going to put I guess Gargano's probably going to be on the shelf. Maybe they want to hold him off until, well, the next TakeOver is going to be for Survivor Series. That's in November. So I don't know if it'll be then that he'll come back. That's the War Games, so again, maybe they don't do a title match in that. Maybe they put Gargano with, Ciampa with the Undisputed Era. I don't know how Aleister Black's going to play into this. I'm guessing he's probably ticketed to a quick pop-up to the main roster eventually here, because he's done pretty much everything he can in NXT. Like, even if he comes back for a rematch, maybe, I don't know. So obviously the next video is not going to be the Random Trade Review, because that was already out earlier today. So the next video is going to be the SummerSlam recap and review. That'll probably be up Monday. I'll try to watch as much of it as I can Sunday. I don't know how much I'll be able to, but again, it's starting earlier, so maybe I'll at least have that going for me. See you all then. Silly me, I forgot to grade the show fully through. It gets an A. Hey guys, tired of me always talking about WWE and NXT? Want to see me cover something like, say, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, anything else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time Cat Productions and see how you can help me expand my wrestling coverage.